Shalom and good morning. Today we're going to start off reading in Exodus chapter 13. And Yahu'ah spoke to Moshe, saying, Set apart to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb, among the children of Yisrael, among man and among beast. It is mine. And Moshe said to the people, Remember this day in which you went out of Mizraim, out of the house of slavery, for by strength of hand Yahu'ah brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the new month Abib, and it shall be when Yahu'ah brings you into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites, the Hivites and the Yeshubites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that ye shall keep this service in this new month. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day is a festival to Yahu'ah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your borders. And you shall inform your son in that day, saying, It is because of what Yahu'ah did for me when I came up from Mizraim. And it shall be as a sign to you on your hand, as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Yahu'ah is to be in your mouth. For with a strong hand Yahu'ah has brought you out of Mizraim. And you shall guard this law at its appointed time, from year to year. And it shall be when Yahu'ah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall give over to Yahu'ah every one opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock, the males belong to Yahu'ah. And every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb. And if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of man among your sons you are to ransom. And it shall be when your sons ask you in time to come, saying, What is this? Then you shall say to him, By strength of Yahu'ah has brought us out of Mizraim and out of the house of bondage. And it came to be, when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Yahu'ah killed every firstborn in the land of Mizraim, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I am slaughtering to Yahu'ah every male that opens the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. And it shall be as a sign on your hand, and as your frontlets between your eyes, for by the strength of the hand of Yahu'ah brought us out of Mizraim. And it came to be, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Yahu'ah did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, though that was nearer. For Yahu'ah said, Lest the people regret when they see fighting, and return to Mizraim. So Yahu'ah led the people around by the way of the wilderness of the sea of reeds. And the children of Yisrael went up in fives from the land of Mizraim. And Moshe took the bones of Joseph with him, for he certainly made the children of Yisrael swear, saying, Yahu'ah shall certainly visit you, and you shall bring my bones from here with you. And they departed from Sukkoth, and camped in Atham, at the edge of the wilderness. And Yahu'ah went before them by day in a column of cloud to lead the way, and by night in a column of fire to give them light, so as to not go by day and night. The column of cloud did not cease by day, nor the column of fire by night before the people. Exodus 14. And Yahu'ah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yisrael, that they turn and camp before Pi Haroth, between Migdal and the sea, opposite Baal Tesphon. Camp before it by the sea. For Pharaoh shall say all of the children of Yashrael, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has closed them in. And I shall strengthen the heart of Pharaoh, and he shall pursue them. But I am to be esteemed through Pharaoh and over all his army, and the Mistreats shall know that I am Yahu'ah. And they did so. And it was reported to the sovereign of Misraim that the people had fled. And the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Yashrael go from serving us? So he made his chariot ready and took his people with him. And he took 600 choice chariots and all the chariots of Misraim with officers over all of them. And Yahu'ah strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, sovereign of Misraim, and he pursued the children of Yashrael, but the children of Yashrael went out defiantly. And the Mistreats pursued them, and all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen, and his army, and overtook them camping by the sea beside Pi Haraboth before Baal Tesphon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Yashrael lifted their eyes and saw the Mistreats coming up after them, and they were greatly afraid. So the children of Yashrael cried out to Yahu'ah. And they said to Moshe, did you take us away to die in the wilderness because there was no burial sites in Misraim? What is this you have done to us, to bring us up out of Misraim? Is this not the word that we spoke to you in Misraim, saying, leave us alone and let us serve the Mistreats? For it would have been better for us to serve the Mistreats than to die in the wilderness. And Moshe said to the people, do not be afraid. Stand still and see the deliverance of Yahu'ah, which he does for you today. For the Mistreats whom you see today, you are never to see again. Yahu'ah does fight for you, and you keep silent. And Yahu'ah said to Moshe, why do you cry to me? Speak to the children of Yashrael and let them go forward. And you lift up your rod and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it. And then let the children of Yashrael go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And see, I am strengthening the hearts of the Mistreats, and they shall follow them. And I am to be esteemed through Pharaoh and over all his army, his chariots, and his horsemen. And the Mistreats shall know that I am Yahu'ah when I am esteemed through Pharaoh and his chariots and his horsemen. And the messenger of Yahu'ah went before the camp of Yashrael, moved and went behind them. And the column of the cloud went before them and stood behind them. And came between the camp of the Mistreats and the camp of the Yashrael. And it was the cloud and the darkness, and it gave light by night, and the one did not come near the other all the night. And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahu'ah caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea into dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Yashrael went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their left and on their right. And the Mistreats pursued and went after them into the midst of the sea, all the horses of Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to be in the morning watch that Yahu'ah looked down upon the army of the Mistreats through the column of fire and cloud, and he brought the army of the Mistreats into confusion. And he took off their chariot wheels, so that they drove them with difficulty. And the Mistreats said, let us flee from the face of Yashrael, for Yahu'ah fights for them against the Mistreats. Then Yahu'ah spoke to Moshe, stretch out your hand over the sea, and let the waters come back upon the Mistreats, on their chariots and on their horsemen. And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its usual flow. At the break of day, with the Mishrites fleeing into it, thus Yahuwah overthrew the Mishrites in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the army of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them, and not even one was left of them. And the children of Yashriel walked on dry ground in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on the right and on the left. Thus Yahuwah saved Yashriel that day out of the hand of the Mishrites, and Yashriel saw the Mishrites dead on the seashore. And Yashriel saw the great work of which Yahuwah had done in Mishraim, and the people feared Yahuwah, and believed Yahuwah and his servant Moshe. Chapter 15. Then Moshe and the children of Yashriel sang this song to Yahuwah, and spoke, saying, I sing to Yahuwah, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. Yahuwah is my strength and song, and he has become my deliverance. He is my El, and I praise him, Eluah of my father, and I exalt him. Yahuwah is a man of battle, Yahuwah is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and his chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds. The depths covered them, they went down to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has become great in power. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath, it consumed them like stubble. And with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The flood stood like a wall, the depths became stiff in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I pursue, I overtake, I divide the spoil, my being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword, my hand destroys them. You did blow with your wind, the sea covered them, they sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Yahuwah, among the mighty ones? Who is like you, great, set apartness, awesome in praises, working wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your love and commitment, you led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength, you guided them to your set-apart dwelling. Peoples heard, they trembled. Anguish gripped the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom were troubled. The mighty men of Moab, trembling grips them. All the inhabitants of Canaan melted. Fear and dread fell on them. By the greatness of your arm, they are as silent as a stone, until your people pass over, O Yahuwah, until the people whom you have brought over pass over. You bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahuwah, which you have made for your own dwelling, the set-apart place, O Yahuwah, which your hands have prepared. Reign, Yahuwah, forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went with his chariots and his horsemen into the sea, and Yahuwah brought back the waters of the sea upon them, and the children of Yashriel went on dry ground in the midst of the sea. And Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took the timbrel in her hand. And all the women went out after with her timbrels and with the dances. And Miriam answered them, Sing to Yahu'ah, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. And Moshe brought Yashrael from the Sea of Reeds, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And they came to Marah, and they were unable to drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. So the name of it was called Marah. And the people grumbled against Moshe, saying, What are we to drink? Then he cried out to Yahu'ah, and Yahu'ah showed him a tree. And when he threw it into the waters were made sweet. There he made a law of right ruling for them, and there he tried them. And he said, If you diligently obey the voice of Yahu'ah, your Elohah, and you do what is right in his eyes, and shall listen to his commands, and you shall guard all his laws, I shall bring on you none of the diseases I brought on the Mishrites, for I am Yahu'ah who heals you. And they came to Elim, where there were 12 fountains of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there by the waters. Chapter 16. And they set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Yashrael came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second new month after their going out of the land of Mishraim. And all the congregation of the children of Yashrael grumbled against Moshe and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Yashrael said to them, If only we had died by the hand of Yahu'ah in the land of Mishraim, when we sat by the pots of meat and we ate bread to satisfaction. For you have brought us out into the wilderness to put all this assembly to death with hunger. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, See, I am raining bread from the Shemaim for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day in order to try them, whether they walk in my Torah or not. And it shall be on the 6th day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moshe and Aaron said to the children of Yashrael, At evening you shall know that Yahuwah has brought you out of the land of Mishraim. And in the morning you shall see the esteem of Yahuwah, for he hears your grumblings against Yahuwah. And what are we, that you grumble against us? And Moshe said, In that Yahuwah gives you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to satisfaction. For Yahuwah hears your grumblings which you make against him. And what are we? Your grumblings are not against us, but against Yahuwah. And Moshe said to Aaron, Say to the congregation of the children of Yashrael, Come near before Yahuwah, for he has heard your grumblings. And it came to be, as Aaron spoke to the congregation of the children of Yashrael, that they looked toward the wilderness, and see, the esteem of Yahuwah appeared in the cloud. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, I have heard the grumblings of the children of Yashrael. Speak to them, saying, Between the evenings you are to eat meat, and in the morning you are to be satisfied with bread. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah your Elohah. And it came to be that quails came at evening and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay on the camp. And the layer of dew went up, and see, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round substance, as fine as frost on the ground. And the children of Yashrael saw, and they said to each other, What is it? For they did not know what it was. And Moshe said to them, It is the bread which Yahuwah has given you to eat. This is the word which Yahuwah has commanded. Let every man gather it according to each one's need, an omer for each being. according to the number of beings, let every man take for those who are in his tent. And the children of Yashu'ah did so, and gathered some more, some less. And they measured it by omers, and he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little did not have too little. Each one gathered according to his need. And Moshe said, let no one leave any of it until morning. And they did not listen to Moshe. So some of them left part of it until morning. And it bred worms and stank. And Moshe was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, each one according to his need. And when the sun became hot, it melted. And it came to be on the 6th day that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moshe. And he said to them, this is what Yahu'ah has said. Tomorrow is a rest, a Sabbath set apart to Yahu'ah. That which you bake, and that which you cook. And lay up for yourselves all that is left over to keep it until morning. And they laid it up till morning, as Moshe commanded, and it did not stink, and no worm was in it. And Moshe said, eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to Yahu'ah. Today you do not find it in the field. Gather it 6 days, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, there is none. And it came to be that some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather, but they found none. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, how long shall you refuse to guard my commands and my Torut? See, because Yahuwah has given you the Sabbath, therefore he is giving you bread for 2 days on the 6th day. Let each one stay in his place, and do not let anyone go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Yashu'ah called its name manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and the taste of it was like thin cakes made with honey. And Moshe said, this is the word which Yahuwah has commanded. Fill an omer with it to keep for your generations, so that they see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Mishraim. And Moshe said to Aaron, take a pot and put an omer of manna in it, and set it down before Yahuwah to keep for your generations. As Yahuwah commanded Moshe, so did Aaron set it down before the witness to keep. And the children of Yashu'ah ate manna for 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. And an omer is 1/10 of an ephah.